Well, there's some news on a new safety that could become available, and the Eagles are definitely safety shopping, I guess you could probably say, because safety seems like to be the last piece to the puzzle for this secondary for the Philadelphia Eagles that we're really trying to figure out. So let's try to see what the contracts are, what's going on, and, talk about the Chauncey situation. Obviously, we talked about Jalen Mills, a few other safeties, and a lot of safeties been getting paid, and the market is a complete mess right now. So let's get straight into the news.
Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
What is going on, guys? Your boy Joey 672 coming guys with a video now. So we've been going over the safety position for so long at this point where not really too long. It's only the sixth day of the legal, fifth or sixth day of the legal tampering period, and obviously the first wave of free agency is pretty much done. So the Eagles have been looking at trying to re-sign Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, and that's been like the biggest issue right now because the safety market is not great. Chauncey wants to get paid as a safety, and most of these teams are lowballing him with offers. Really, the only safety that got paid was Jesse Bates at $16 million. With at least 5 or 6 safeties that I've seen sign are getting between $4 million to $8 million a year. So the number is going down every single day. Every time you wake up in the morning, that number is going down. When Chauncey is not signed with a team, he's going to be cheaper by the day, and that's what's pretty much happening right now. There's been some other news that, within the Titans organization that Kevin Byard is going to be probably released, traded, I don't know, but it looks like they want Kevin Byard to take a pay cut. He's not going to take a pay cut, and it looks like they're probably going to move on. He's got like a big cap hit for the year, the next 2 years. I think for 23 it's $19.6 million. For 2024 it's $17.8 million. It's a big cap number for them. The Titans have been clearing out players that were pretty good players they've been getting rid of, but they've let go of some good players. They've let go of some good players that had injuries. So they have a new GM, so they're kind of, I guess, cleaning house in some way and kind of rebuilding a few, some positions there. They could be shopping Derrick Henry because, as of news of yesterday, I think they're kind of warm to the feeling of it happening, but, anyone's going to give up a second-round pick, I don't know. So they want some heavy draft compensation for that. But when it comes to the safety spot with Kevin Byard as a two-time, first-team All-Pro, and really when it comes to targets at, 10.3 yards a target, 206 receptions. I mean, he's only allowing 10. I mean, that's just crazy what Kevin Byard's doing. Really good player. So really, the Titans are going to have to make a decision on if they release him. I think they save 6. I think if they trade him post-June, it's like they save $14 million. And who knows, they might wait to get more money and might try to maybe trade him afterwards or something. But I think, Byard's going to want a release, and who knows if they're going to get less cap for a release, they probably will wait post-June to trade him. So if this is going to come down to a trade, I don't know if the Eagles will actually go after this, but if it's after a release and he's on the free agent market, and you redo his deal and try to get something done. This is like an option here where if Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is taking way too long, this is probably the move you go after. Obviously, Chauncey is so much easier to sign, and trust me, I would rather have Chauncey here at safety, but obviously he only played safety for 1 year. Byard's played it his whole career. So at this point, I'm not saying I want to move on from Chauncey. I want Chauncey right now. The problem is, how long are the Eagles going to wait? Because honestly, I don't think this is going to – if this goes on with Chauncey until next Friday, next Saturday, next weekend, if this goes on for a whole nother week, it's going to be kind of crazy. The Eagles got to prepare for the draft. And obviously, I think there's a couple more free agents the Eagles are going to sign. I think they're going to add somebody to the defensive line for the cheap and add someone to a rotation. So safety's been we got Bradbury was a shocking return. Slay was going to get released, and then, it didn't happen. He came back took less money, gave more guaranteed money, less than that dead cap number, or at least the cap hit for the year, which is pretty good for that. And now, they're kind of out there and they're kind of looking like, hey, you know what? Like, Chauncey's got to make up his mind. I think Chauncey wants to come back, and I'm not saying I want Byard over Chauncey at all, but this is always an option that's out there. If the Eagles want to at least make the phone call and say, hey, like, what do you want for him? But this trade, this would have to be a designated post-June trade, which means obviously it doesn't matter. We're not playing games from now to June anyway. So, I mean, this is a post-June trade. You would just wait until June, and then they would get their cap space back at $14 million, and obviously we would get the player. And don't know what they're looking for draft compensation, but probably not going to be cheap for Kevin Byard at all. So obviously you're getting a guy that's a little bit older. So I totally get it. Because I want more youth on this team. So like I said, I'd rather have Chauncey because of his youth, and his ceiling is so far up right now from what he could do. So there's a lot that goes into this, with free agency and how much the Eagles have. I mean, they've almost had they've almost had a perfect free agency, to be honest with you. If they can get the Chauncey Gardner-Johnson deal done, it would really help to our advantage of with 2 first-round picks in the draft. It's just nuts. You know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting. Like Byard's only 29 years old at the end of the day. I think he's 29, I think. And, he's up there in age, but he's not, he could play for another few years. He's probably liable for another long contract, a 4-year deal or something if a team wants to, get him on. And I think he'd be a great player for any team, really. I mean, he's a great safety doing really good things. So, his reputation as what it stands right now. I don't want to Band-Aid that safety position up and have to worry about it later on when we're getting, we're going to, I don't want to have that to be a weak spot for the Eagles in the 23 season because, you're going to have guys that are going to go down the field and these guys are going to be slow turning their hips on these deep routes, and we're going to get beat on a lot of long passes that they don't get anybody that can solidify the back end of this roster. Kevon Wallace is not going to do it for us when he's just a special teamer and hasn't lived up to anything he was supposed to be as a 4th-round pick. But, and you have a really small sample size in Reed Blankenship right now. As much as it was a good year, it is what it is. After when Marcus Epps was gone, or they let Marcus Epps walk, that was kind of the final piece for me to say, you know what, why would they let 2 safeties walk? And obviously the rumors are out there. The Eagles are really wanting to get Chauncey Gardner-Johnson back, but Chauncey has a lot of worth and feels like he has a lot of worth within himself, and I give him all the respect for that. You know what I mean? But if the market's not there, it's not there. If he's trying to get 16 plus, that's not going to happen. 10 plus, not going to happen. 9 plus, not going to happen. If the Eagles want to meet Chauncey halfway at $9-10 million a year, you know what I mean, then I guess that would be fair. But this market is like $4 to $8 million a year for a lot of these safeties besides Jesse Bates, which is kind of crazy right now. So what do you take from this market? Because the numbers are so stretched out. The numbers are so stretched out right now, it's hard to say what the actual numbered market it is, and mostly it's $4 to $8 million. So I know it's a big stretch of numbers, for, a few $1 million here and there, but Chauncey has to really figure it out. Kevin Byard would be a perfect fit for this team. They would have to trade for him if they were going. Obviously, if they want to do if the Titans want to do a post, a June trade and get this over with and get him traded now, they can get it done. The Eagles will have him after June. He will be officially on the roster after June, which would be a great thing. But what are you going to have to give up for him? And I know Howie Roseman's not going to give up high picks for a 29-year-old safety right now. You're not giving away a first-round pick. You're not giving away any of these picks we have this year. Honestly, I wouldn't even give up the second-round pick for next year. I really don't want to do that. I'd rather have Chauncey back. But obviously, Kevin Byard is another player that is available right now. We'll see. If they flat-out release him, it'd be much easier for us to sign him, rework his deal, keep the money that he's making, but lessen that, cap number. And what, obviously the Titans are going to eat up, and how much they want to eat up of that and deal with really depends on their side on what's going on before a release or a trade if they want to make that happen for teams that have interest in really trade for him. And I think this would definitely be a huge upgrade for the Eagles, but at the same time, I really want Chauncey back, man. I feel like there's still, I feel like it's still going to happen. I feel like it's still, in motion right now to get him. Like I said, I don't want to bandage up this safety spot because I feel like we're going to pay the price for it. And Howie Roseman has done so much work right now, it'd be a shame to just put a Band-Aid at that position. He's worked so hard this offseason, moving money, moving contracts, redoing contracts. Guys with the loyalty coming back for cheap and run this thing back again. And I think that's what's important because you don't see that with teams. The last piece of the puzzle is Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. And if Chauncey is not coming to Philly or he makes an announcement that I will not be signing back with Philadelphia, then we move on. And, Kevin Byard could be the guy that you could get, whether they release him or whether they want to do a post-June trade and get a trade done for him because they'll save more cap trading him than they will be cutting him. But his pay cut, but he's not taking a pay cut. Kevin already said he's not taking a pay cut, not going to happen. So they want to lessen that cap hit for the year, which is, it's a lot of money for the next 2 seasons. So theoretically, I think they would only keep him for a year and probably trade him next year or something when he hits 30 years old, most likely. So it's going to be interesting to see where this goes. Let me know what you guys think on the Chauncey Gardner-Johnson situation. I know it's tiring. I know I ask you every single day. Let me know what you guys think about the Kevin Byard situation as well with his numbers. Like I said, to release that $6 million, a post-June trade at $14 million they get back on the cap, but you have to trade for him, and it's probably not going to be easy. And I don't think Howie Roseman's giving up any draft capital for a 29-year-old player with those 2 first-round picks, a second, a third, no 4th, 5th, or 6th. You have 2 7s, and then next year you have an extra second because in the 24 draft because of that Saints trade. So a lot is kind of riding on this right now. Like, the Eagles aren't really linked to him at all, but it's an eye-opener that when safeties are available, the Eagles are probably checking in on the situation and checking in on Chauncey Gardner-Johnson's situation. At the end of all of this, Chauncey, I want him back. I want him as a Philadelphia Eagle. I don't care if he played safety for a year. I don't care how much it costs at this point, and it's not going to be expensive. We already know this. So you let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about the Chauncey situation. Kevin Byard as well from the Titans. What do you think they will do with him? Do you think they'll release him, trade him? Do you think the Eagles are even looking at him if he is going to become available? Would they give it a shot? You know what I mean? But I do like the youth a lot better, especially a guy that has the embodiment to be in Philadelphia, and Chauncey is just one of a kind. So that's all I really got to say about the Kevin Byard situation. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think, and I'll see you guys on the next one. If you guys haven't and lasted this long in the video, please subscribe to the channel. Please like the video as well. It does help out the channel a lot. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Chicks, what up? Follow us. Peace out, guys. Peace.